Welcome to Ashes and Roses, the podcast.
A millennial review of entrepreneurship.
We're your hosts. I'm Juny.
And I'm Ashley. We'll be sharing with you an honest review of our trials and triumphs in business.
The Ashes and the Roses.
On season 2, we'll be inviting other entrepreneurs to share their journey as well.
Join us every Wednesday on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts.
And as always, we'll be keeping it real,
raw, and revolutionary.
Am I in there okay?
Yeah.
Is my head cut off?
No, your head's not cut off at all.
Sure.
Welcome back to another episode of Ashes and Roses. Guess what?
What?
It's season 2.
Season 2,
It's
and we're
season
back.
2. We're back, and we're better. We're
Yeah.
back, and we're better.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it is good to be back, and things are a little different. We're on YouTube.
Wow, yeah. I feel like YouTube is going to get us in trouble.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now I have to be like super conscious of what I'm saying.
What about my facial expressions, though?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't even thinking about that, but
Like, though, that will get me in a lot of trouble.
yeah. But anyways, we're back, guys. Season 2. We're happy to be here. And this season, we are shaking things up.
Listen, we were quiet. We were hibernating, but
we back. And that's all. That's all that matters. Season 2, we're doing things a little bit different. We have a theme for the season. And our theme this season is #challenge the industry. So
we came back fiery.
All season long, each episode is going to be about a specific industry, and we have guest co-hosts who are entrepreneurs in these respective industries, and they'll be talking about, the injustices, I guess, of their industry against Black and brown bodies, and also how what are the problems that they've
encountered
in
the
these
industries.
Yes, and how that shaped them into now becoming an entrepreneur or being an entrepreneur. And just sharing their journey with us as well as with you guys, because we're here to keep it real, raw, and revolutionary. So
last season we had an episode where we talked about the entrepreneurial types.
Yeah.
So an ongoing question that we will be asking these entrepreneurs when they come through is what entrepreneur type they think they are. So it's going to be really interesting to kind of like see, the different types and see how they do their business. And
And, I really encourage you guys to tune in. Like, you never know. You might find someone that you can relate with, you know, if you were thinking about this, but maybe you didn't see yourself in the industry, or you haven't seen someone who reminds you of yourself. Then I hope that with the guests that we have on this season, that you're able to, get that representation.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, getting into it, another thing that is new for us, season 2, our episodes are now sponsored by Sapphire Health and Wellness. So, if you don't know, Sapphire Health and Wellness is not only our sponsor, but it's also our baby. It's also our baby. It's our first business.
I don't even know. Can you even do that?
Do what?
Have your business sponsor your own podcast, right? We can do that, right? Why not?
Yes, that's
what's happening.
That's how you create businesses, guys. You have to create entities that form relationships with each other. That's how you create multiple streams of income. But Sapphire Health and Wellness is our baby. So what we do is we provide memory care to the communities of Westerville and Columbus, Ohio. Our homes are a small scale assisted living, very different from maybe what you are familiar with. And that's also the industry that we're getting into today. So offer in our care homes, we offer 1 to 5 residents staff to resident ratios, personalized meals, individualized care plans. And what's really great is that we allow the residents, our clients, to age in place. So we meet them where they are, because those of you who don't know about dementia, there's various stages. So Yep.
And I mean, my favorite thing about our company is that like we cater to who that person is. Like we consider who that person is, and that's how we take care of them. It's not like a cookie cutter, everybody is the same type situation. So
yeah, and the fact that we have 5 of them at a time. So we have the time, our staff have the time to actually get to know the residents to be able to cater their care to them. So,
but that's getting into our topic.
Yeah, but
okay?
Shout out to Sapphire for the sponsorship. Yes. Visit us at sapphirehousing.com and schedule a virtual tour if you or someone you know is looking for a memory care option for their loved one.
Yep. All right. So, yes, from now on, we will be bringing up our sponsor in every episode. So,
our sponsors.
Because that's what we do. So, if you're trying to be a sponsor, let us know.
Let us know. Our email is ashesandrosespodcast@gmail.com. And the "and" is spelled out.
Yes. And these will be like our lowest prices ever.
Ever.
All right. So, Juny.
What's up?
What's your thought of the day?
Oh, man. My thought of the day, just being that, like, this is season 2. We're back at it. Like, I wonder, so much has changed from season 1 to now. And just in life and in, like, who we are. And I wonder if our listeners or if the people or our audience, I wonder if they'll be able to kind of catch that, like, we are sharing the journey with you in all ways. You know what I mean? Not just the entrepreneurial journey, but, like, the personal journey, too, alongside with it. So I'm just, like, hopeful and mindful that someone may be listening to this that might need to hear whatever I'm saying in the moment. And I wasn't as mindful of that with season 1.
Okay.
I kind of was just using it as like, this is my thing, this is my outlet, I just want to say whatever I want to say, versus like, okay, what am I saying though? Like, say whatever you want to say, but what are you saying?
Yeah, like, what is your message?
Yeah.
What are you... Yeah.
And I'm on this journey of rebranding myself and figuring out, like, who I am. So everything kind of falls in line. So it's just interesting. That's my thought of the day.
That's beautiful. I love that. Wow. So,
what's yours?
My thought of the day has to do with, first of all, it's nice to be back and recording, and this is different. I'm not gonna lie.
Different.
Recording is hard. I don't know what to do with this camera. Like,
I know
whether to look at it or to look at
I
you.
Know.
So I mean, that's just, I'm gonna be real. So, but I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to have to be thoughtful about my thoughts again, so that I can come up with the thought of the day. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I'm excited about season 2. So that's kind of been on my mind. But overall, like, another thought would be, I'm realizing, or I'm seeing, that a lot of people are standing up right now for like what they believe in, and they're like making their voices known, and at the same time, like, these big corporations and even like the government, like, there's just like a lot of mistrust happening now. So that's something that's been on my mind, and because my first, thing is to, I don't know why I think this way, but my first thing is to think of a solution,
right.
So this is just something that's been on my mind, because I just feel like it's like such a huge problem. And we've relied so much on like government and corporations to like teach us about ourselves, to tell us what's right from wrong. And, so, and I just think like now more people are tuning into themselves a little bit more, just like how like you're, talking about being reflective. So I'm trying to like reflect on myself as well. And also just kind of come up with a solution for, and I actually feel like what we're doing with this podcast is helping that solution. Like, we're challenging the industries.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where it starts. Like, let's call out what the problems are.
Yeah.
You know, let's put them out in the light. And it's okay to like, why all of a sudden we can't criticize certain people? Like, criticism is what leads to constructive, like, of course, constructive criticism, but that's what leads to progress, right? That's what leads to you becoming better. So it's like, why I feel like with the cancel culture, you know, with cancel culture, it's so hard to criticize. Like, this episode, I feel like in my mind kind of feels a little bit controversial because we're calling it out. Like,
I feel like, yeah. Oh.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You were ready to call it out.
I'm calling it out.
Go ahead,
Nursing homes suck. Like, this is something that we all know.
Yeah.
Like, it's a well-known thing. Nursing homes suck. People who like are running nursing homes would not volunteer to live in that nursing home.
Not at all. Absolutely not.
So we're calling it out, and I feel like that's where it starts. So I mean, overall, my thought is like, I'm happy to have something to stand up for too. It's something that I've been doing since I was younger. I didn't realize like I've always had this relationship with seniors, you know. So yeah, I'm happy to have something to fight for.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, going back to your point about nursing homes. No, not nursing homes. About constructive criticism. Yeah, there should be criticism, but we do need to be mindful of, like, because it's either constructive or destructive, right? So we're criticizing not to say like abolish or get rid of these industries, but it's like, hey, these industries have holes in them. They have gaps in them, and we can do better. And we're not going to do better until these things are brought to the forefront and discussed and talked about, you know, and because then people have to face it. Like, it's right here, right? So then that puts the power back in our hands as the employees, as the consumers. You know, it puts the power back into our hands, because we do have the buying power, but we still need the intellectual power. Yeah. We still need the capital power. You know what I mean? You need more than it's not like, oh, we just have the money, that's all we need. No, we need the knowledge, we need the education, we need the understanding, we need somebody to break it down to us, like, you know, what's the difference? What is a corporation versus a small business? You know what I mean? Like, some people probably look, because these corporations probably started out as small businesses. You know what I mean? Right. So we really need to talk about, what does that mean in today when we say corporation? Because some businesses are huge, but do they operate like a corporation? We're talking about the operation of the business.
And that's the thing. It's like, you know, only one. If we really think about the face of the corporation, what would you picture? If you had to picture, like, who's running the CEOs of like these huge corporations, what does that person look like?
Well, you know, I watched this show called Blacklist, and they all look like rich white men to me.
Okay, so only rich white men, not only, I mean, but mostly rich white men are the only ones that got a crack at it. You know what I mean? Got to try this industry, right?
Right.
And I mean, these try in these big industries or whatever. So like the nursing home industry, I guarantee you the owners of these industries are rich white men. So they have a crack at it. So, you know, I think that when other people outside of them, and I'm not saying that everything was all bad. It's just that it's clearly not about the service and about the money.
Yeah, it's about the money. It's about the money.
Just the way that the model and the way that it's set up.
Yeah.
It's like the money trumps the service.
Right. But the thing is, in order to make actual money, you have to give subpar, mediocre service in order to make real profit. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's the only way that model works.
So you have to, as far as if the goal is to profit as much as possible, yes, they are meeting that goal. But, you know, when it comes to taking care of people, and this is getting into our topic of the day.
Our topic is Nursing Homes Suck is actually our new campaign sponsored by Sapphire Health and Wellness. We are leading the campaign here in Columbus to change our neighborhoods, change our narrative around seniors and those affected by Alzheimer's and dementia. Like, let's create a community that is more inclusive of them because, you know, we need them. We needed them. They were here for us, and now they need us. And we need to make sure that we're still giving them quality of life.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So,
I'm excited to talk about this topic because you know, this is where the majority of my work life has gone is into senior care. So, yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited too because I've always wanted to. I remember it's so interesting that I ended up in this industry because, you know, growing up, you know, just Haitian family, they want you to get into the healthcare field. And I used to be like, I don't want to take care of people's bodies. I want to take care of their minds. I want to just take care of the mind, you know?
Yeah.
And look at what I ended up doing. But I still
to a certain degree, I mean, like we specialize in Alzheimer's and dementia. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Memory care,
that's
literally.
Yeah. I was trying to get away from the healthcare field.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still ended up here. But I believe that for all people, you know, so it fits in for me because I would do it for the old, the young, the sick, the poor. But anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
No.
So we're getting into the meat. We're getting into our conversation.
Yes, we are. And to go a little bit deeper into our conversation, we're going to start our favorite segment.
Ooh. Is it our favorite?
Notice I call both of it our favorite.
Oh,
the favorite
do?
segment.
I've never noticed that.
Either it doesn't matter which segment. You see, she only hears when it's
terrible,
my segment.
You guys. I'm trying to be more mindful. I think I realized I'm a narcissist.
Stop. Chill.
I have narcissistic traits.
No. That's not true. You're just being hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, yes, our favorite segment, Ashley's analogies. And I have a sound effect, guys. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but Ashley's analogies, where I turn our topic into an analogy. Okay? So we'll get started. We'll just jump right in. So today we're talking about nursing homes, and I'm going to leave the analogy like kind of towards the end. Okay. But, you know, let's just have a conversation about it.
Okay.
What has been your experience with nursing homes? Because I worked in one for many years. So go ahead.
So my experience with nursing homes specifically have varied. So I remember when I was younger, I remember my mom worked in one, and the memories that I would have whenever I walked into a nursing home, they used to always just smell bad, just smell like human, you know, waste.
Okay.
And I never liked that. It was always kind of off-putting. And I worked in a nursing home once, very short-lived. I showed up to one shift.
You know what?
One shift.
I was there.
One shift.
I definitely
listen.
there.
One thing you can say about me, I try everything. I do try everything.
Yeah, that's true.
And if it goes against my soul, it goes against my soul.
Do give it a shot.
I do give it a shot. So, and then professionally, I've worked with nursing homes in terms of like, you know, because just on the casework side of things, when we're getting residents discharged or into or out of a nursing home. So I've worked with them more extensively on like the administrative side.
Okay. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about how that one night that you worked there. So I actually referred you to the job. Okay. She worked one night, but you know what? Bro. At the same time, they needed, like, nursing homes are typically very desperate for workers. Okay. And so they needed somebody to start training, you know what I mean? But
mind
that night,
it was a PRN. So if you don't know what PRN means, it's optional. So I wasn't even scheduled.
Not optional, like as
you
needed,
pick up
like
shifts
pick up shifts
as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were training that night.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I trained during the day.
Oh, you trained. Okay. So you were on the floor.
So actually I worked 2 days. Boom. I worked 2 days. A day and a night.
But let's explain why though. Why did you work 2 days? Like that work, I could tell that night. I was like, oh no, she's not. I knew you weren't gonna come back but it was nice for you to see what I did for work.
Yeah, because I work with my mind. And me and my mom have this conversation all the time. Like, what y'all do is great, is really great. But my strength is my brain. Yeah. So I have to just go off that. Mm-hmm. You know? But my experience that night, well, let me talk about during the day. It was just hectic. And it was just a lot. You know, you have, 15, 14, I think I had like 13 residents. And you got to shower 4 of them. And first of all, breakfast is at 7? No, breakfast is at 8 or 9.
No, you got to have them in the
chair. No, the chair ready to be rolled up to their table.
Yeah, you would have them in the like 7:30. Like it was early because you get them up because we work nights. Right. So you would get them up at like, because if you have 14 of them to get ready, 13. Well, at night it's actually a lot more residents. Yeah. So, if you have to get a whole bunch of them ready, for breakfast, you get them up like at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then they're sitting, like some of them are sitting in their chair that early. Mm-hmm.
And some of them are just waiting somewhere for you to take them in.
By 6 o'clock, like 6 o'clock in the morning, we've wheeled them to the front of the, like, in line for breakfast.
To be at their table. So, so you have that going on. Then you got to sit down and feed however many of them need to be fed, and, like, in a room. So, like, and it's just 2 of you. It's just 2 of you with, like, hella people. But this is like, okay, if they were just bodies that you could just pick up and put here and move there, and maybe
if it was a factory,
maybe that would be feasible or doable. But when they're like don't want to do it, or they're fighting and kicking, or they're mad because they don't know who you are, and you're waking them out of their bed and you're rolling them down the hallway, and there's lights and there's like people in different scrub colors just running around, zipping around. People is giving them medication. People are, you know what I mean? Like alarms are going off. It's like, what the hell is happening here? Yeah. Like imagine a child in a situation like that.
Wow, you just gave away my analogy.
Oh my gosh, I just took over your analogy.
It's okay. She gave away my analogy. I don't know, like when I'm bringing up my analogy, should I like play my music?
I didn't know that was your analogy.
Yes. So the analogy is, this is how I was going to bring it. Caregivers are to loved ones as parents are to children. Ooh. So especially right now in this time, when you're describing this is the description from a worker's side. You know what I mean? And even from the worker side,
you get on the floor. If you're on the nursing home floor, like no matter what position you're in,
you see all that happening.
You see all of that because the admins are on the floor. Yeah, the techs are on the floor. The dietary aides. There's an interaction.
Just so many people in one space. It is like when you bring it up like that, it does sound very hectic. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's why once again our model is the solution. So we're not saying like nursing homes suck and just leaving it at that. No, nursing homes suck and it's time for a change. Nursing homes suck and now loved ones can't go see caregivers can't go see their loved ones anymore. Yeah. Daughters and sons can't go see their mom to make sure that they're okay. Like,
so how would a 3-year-old feel if they haven't seen their mom in weeks and months? How would a 3-year-old feel? Because life is a circle. It's a continuous circle. Like, as we enter, the way we enter is how we end, right? Mm-hmm. So if you enter in a vulnerable state where you need someone, right? How do you think
and what do babies need when they get
love?
They need nurtured. They need to be
nurtured. Yeah. So
they need to be loved. They need to be looked after. They need to feel safe. They need to feel, like
their
all of those
need to be met. They need to be kept warm. They need to be fed.
And that's what they need in order to thrive. So now, keeping families out of the nursing homes. Yes, I understand the risks. I understand it's a huge risk because there's so many people. Why is it okay for so many immunocompromised people to be living in one building? you're so worried about
everywhere.
COVID, right? But how many people, I mean, what about flu season? Yes, at least they have the vaccine that's required of them, you know what I mean? Because I mean, they're all immunocompromised. Like how many of them have pneumonia? How many, like, I guess they have vaccines for those and that's why it's okay and that's enough. But no. Yeah. It's like, why would we keep it's not beneficial to them. And even right now, like they're not going to be dying of COVID, but there are seniors dying because of failure to thrive. Yeah. They're not being looked after the way. Can you imagine right now, like how hard it is if staffing was hard before?
Right. You want to know something else I want to bring up?
Yeah.
So you talked about how, during this COVID situation, nursing homes aren't letting, the thing is they're not, it goes back to the corporation of it because it's about the money. Because in our home, because we had to follow these same rules of the nursing home, right? So what did we do? We got creative. We have an iPad. We FaceTime with the family members. You know what I mean? They still get to hear their voice. They still get to see their face. They may not be physically there, but it's something, and these nursing homes, the money that people are paying, why don't you have that capability? Why isn't that a thing, a service that's offered with the money that people pay to be here? In the higher tier, upscale, $10,000 nursing home, that's probably an option. Yeah, an option. But how many of us can afford that in our old age?
And that's the thing. Like the nursing home that we were working at, like, mostly me working at.
But I saw 2 days. It's like everything
that was a better nursing home. That was like a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
I've been to other ones.
So, and like my experiences within that good one, I'm like, yo, like this is not that great. Like, and I'm not, we're not coming for the people. There are great people who work within like the nursing homes. And I know, and for me, it was like, what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought. I just want to double back on something.
Go ahead. Double back. Go ahead.
Well, before we get into the nitty gritty of it, I want to make sure that we define the levels of senior care.
Right. Go ahead. Yeah, that should be good.
So when you hear nursing home, really what you want to think about is skilled nursing facility. So like acute care. So like wound care. These are people who are sick and need 24/7 around the clock. They need a nurse checking in. They need their medications, administered and given to them, versus an assisted living. So an assisted living is a place where it's still a senior who needs minimal to total assistance. They're just aging and it's getting difficult they probably shouldn't be alone, but they just need somebody nearby in case something were to happen. Independent senior living is exactly that. It's seniors all in, one designated area for seniors who are independent, but those generally tend to feed into assisted livings when that senior or that retiree can no longer take care of themselves on their own. So that was nursing home, assisted living, and an independent senior living. Care, which is where we fall, is an area of specialized care for seniors or adults who suffer from Alzheimer's and dementia, or which really is any type of cognitive dysfunction. So they need a specialized form of care because it's not just physical, it's not just like, a hip replacement. It's like on top of that, they are cognitively, their brain is degenerating pretty much. So as a result of that, over time, their process of aging will really look like them reverting back to that infant like state. So memory care is specifically for those people who need that. And what memory care does is what it should do is that it meets the individual at the stage that they are in within the disease. Right. Okay. So if you have a dementia resident who can still put on his shirt, you're still allowing him to put on his shirt while supervising, because one day will come where he doesn't know how to put on his shirt anymore. Right. So memory care can be found in a nursing home or an assisted living facility. However, what they look like is usually a lockdown unit where it's one door in, one door out, and it's a code access that only staff know, so that the residents are unable to exit the unit.
And I don't know, like personally, like the way that the lockdown units are described, like in marketing and stuff like that, it's like it's such a positive thing. Yeah, and I'm sure in certain nursing homes, maybe they make it positive, but I will tell you, no. Like, that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, that is a nightmare. It's prison. What I just described to you, think of like instead of cells, they have doors, room doors instead of chains.
Is that another analogy? Oh, she's taking over cells. She likes my sound effects, so she's just taking over. Oh my gosh,
is that another analogy?
She's just taking over my segment.
Wow. All right. Nah, this on top of the dome, you know.
Ooh.
So it's said that memory care takes place in these lockdown units. The category we fall under is more of an independent type of facility. So memory care homes are usually independently owned and not by a corporation. And what we are a house, a single family home located in a neighborhood with children and adults life and community.
Doesn't that just sound so bright? I feel like the sun just came up.
Yes, we have a backyard, we have a kitchen, we have bedrooms, we have bathrooms, because
they help us garden, they help us water our plants. Right. They're involved in everyday living. They're still they're in the community.
Right. While inside of that house, they're still being cared for, tended to. They're still in an assisted living situation. However, they get to do that within a community where they can still feel like a sense of belonging to some place. So that is the difference between, the different levels and the different tiers. And then, but underneath that is home health, is where you have the senior or the adult is living in their home, but someone is coming into their home to provide care.
Right. Which is actually one of the most expensive things to do.
Yes.
So it's the most ideal for most people, but it's the most expensive, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So that was the breakdown of the senior care industry
Thank you.
Different levels. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for doing that. And with that being said, I feel that our model is the solution.
I think so too. It's
and I don't look at it like, oh my goodness, like the Sapphire model and it has to be, multiple homes like ours. No, the vision for me at least, is for, other people to start this kind of business. I think that if you have a passion for this type of work, it's a doable business. I think that it's a needed business. The industry is just growing. So I'll give you some stats. The Alzheimer's Association states that 5 million Americans are already living with Alzheimer's. Okay. By 2050, the numbers are predicted to rise to 14 million. Okay. And it's affecting 1 in 3 seniors.
Yeah. And I want to make a point here, because I know a lot of our audience may be of foreign descent. It's not just in America, it's in the world.
These stats are for America.
Okay. But I'm saying the dementia,
dementia is,
other countries don't have the development that we do to be able to do this research, but it's happening everywhere.
Absolutely.
So dementia is a thing.
Yes. So it is a needed business, and the industry that it's currently in, that's currently taking care of seniors, we're calling them out.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Our own industry, we calling them out.
It's time for a change. I think that, like I was saying, the vision, right? So what I picture is, if an Indian, what personalized care means is if you are of Indian descent and you ate Indian food all your life, you know what I mean? Then when you're a senior and you're being taken care of, you're going to be, you're going to still be eating Indian food. That's what personalized care is to me, just like we're Haitians, we're Haitian. So to go from how, if I put I'm not going to even say, because I don't need anybody coming after me. if if a Haitian puts another Haitian parent in
if a Haitian puts another Haitian
in a nursing home, okay, they're no longer going to be getting Haitian food.
Yeah.
They just go from like overnight. You're going to go from eating Haitian food to now you're eating the, I don't know, default food, which is
whatever, which is just cardboard.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I
cardboard,
picture,
but it's definitely processed food.
I think in order for
heavily preserved. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, of course, we need to do healthier things. You know what I mean? But like, actually, when it comes to
about in the nursing home, the food
exactly. So, anyway, so what I picture is that somebody who's passionate about, you know, seniors the way that we just happen to be, you know, and they're of Indian descent and they want to open a home and they know seniors in their community. There's a home within that neighborhood or whatever that takes care of their seniors. You know what I mean? And the community can come in and help as well. Like getting our community involved is something that I really have been excited to start doing. It makes me a little nervous because I feel like the first thing people are kind of, our first instinct is to kick out what doesn't make us comfortable. So, for example, our seniors are being removed from our neighborhoods and communities. Like they are the ones that built it, and
they're just in a building on this road 50 miles away from home.
Yeah. So it's like, I think that we need to try our best to keep them in. So my call to action, if you're interested in owning a business, you have a good heart. Me personally, I will, you know, like, please reach out to me. I will give you whatever information you need to know how to open up your own residential facility as well.
Okay.
This is the cheapest it will ever be. Free. Okay. Just hit me up and we can talk.
Be prepared for an influx of calls.
We'll see. I don't mind it because this is, at this point, like, this needs to be a movement. We need to bring our seniors back into our communities and take care of them like they're an individual and not just a number, not just money, like not just for money.
So this is a plan that we actually had, you know, prior for the pandemic. We actually had a workshop scheduled for people who were interested in coming and just kind of learning about the industry. So maybe we could figure out how to do it
on
virtually.
Zoom or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe if enough people reach out to me, maybe I'll just turn it into a Zoom presentation, and and then we'll just have everybody.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Get the information all in one.
Yep.
That would be cool.
Yep. Okay,
so that pretty much wraps it up for my segment.
Wow. I feel like that was like our conversation too. It's just so much that you can talk about in this. We could literally talk about this all day.
I know.
So
for those of you who are interested, I guess you're still here.
Yeah. Let us know if this is interesting to you, like in the comments, like, because when you're in your own industry or this is your work, this is your line of work, you feel like everything is interesting and you know what I mean, but you really don't know, like, do other people feel that this is as important as I feel it is?
Right.
You
and
know?
Then another thing is to remember, you do not have to be a nurse or in the healthcare field to run a facility with a good heart. Okay. With a good heart. That's what I will say. All you need is a good heart in this field. Yeah,
you do also need just a little bit of knowledge. You do also need just some if not you, someone like administratively, just to make sure that you.
I mean, when we get to the business plan, you're gonna see the players you're gonna need.
Right. You know.
But as far as qualifications
I just
go,
don't want them to be like, I have a good heart, and you know.
No, yeah, but as far as like qualifications go, like,
yes,
you need a good heart,
but be prepared. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of dedication.
Yes,
and it's not right away. You know, you have to put time in. You have to put research in. So you can have a good heart, but you also need to be committed, and you also need to really feel like this is something that you want to do long term, because these are people's lives. Yes. Okay, it's not just about I have a good heart and I want to try this out. These are people's lives that you are essentially putting yourself responsible for. You're saying, I am taking the spot of your caregiver so that they can just be your your loved one.
So they can be your loved one. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But that caregiver is entrusting. It's like taking your child and putting them in someone else's care. So they're entrusting you with the lives of their parents. So that's also very serious. So you have to respect. You should have a good heart, but also understand and respect life. And I feel like that's why we work as far as like this situation, because there has to be a respect and reverence for just human life,
right,
in order to do this work.
Exactly. And if it's like about the money, then it will show. It will definitely show. Listen, so I was reading this article, and I believe I sent it to you, and pretty much what they were finding out was that nursing homes, I guess corporations are purchasing nursing homes, draining them of their money. Like there's literally a corporation that's like they're being like reprimanded right now. Like they're in court right now about the situation. And pretty much they're draining the nursing home's money, and then they leave, and then they try to sell it, and then they sell it.
Wow.
And so pretty much it's like by the time within these type of nursing homes, right, they are running out of food. Like staff are having to bring the food in, and it's just like when you're making it about money, I just feel like that's so heartless. Like because it's like now you're literally stealing from seniors, like the industry, and it's really frustrating because
and it's the industry. I want people like just that mindset, the industry, the corporation of nursing homes suck. This also applies to memory care homes who operate in the same way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like you need to have people need to be held accountable. Like who is speaking up for seniors? Like people need to be held accountable. And you wonder like, okay, these nursing homes, how are they still up and running? Like shouldn't the state like come in, and isn't the state regulating these rules? And yes, they are, and they do a good job of getting rid of nursing homes that shouldn't be open. But let me tell you, like when state comes in,
it's a whole different nursing home.
It's a whole different nursing home. When we know state is coming in, exactly. Yeah. When we know state is coming in, all of a sudden the administrator who's always in their office is passing trays. The director of nursing, who's always like MIA because she's probably busy trying to hold up the building.
Yeah.
Like now she's, feeding residents. Like now we have a shower aid. Oh, like what? Shower aids exist?
Nursing homes on blast.
I'm sorry.
Now. Like on blast. This is what happens. Because no, seriously, if you've never been into a nursing home, like this is what it is, like real deal. So if it's something to think about. It's something to think about.
Exactly. Let's move on to our rating, because I feel like I'm throwing in all my cons already. Yeah. Like, so.
It's been a lot of cons.
Right. Yeah. I know there has been a lot of cons, but believe it or not, I have some roses. Kind of.
I could reach into my bag for a rose or two.
For some roses. Okay. So, what are some of your cons? I feel like I've been thrown out a lot.
Well, okay. So, some of my cons would be the upkeep of the residents because it's just not pleasant. And, don't get me wrong, like it's not on this. It's hard to take care of 15 people, 14 people. But if all 14 are incontinent, and unable to control their bowel movements and, needing to use the bathroom, like, the fact that like letting them sit in that's a con.
That is a con. And there's like 14 of them. So how
14 of them times 2 on each hall times how many halls?
Yeah.
So it's like that's how many people we're talking about. When you say you have 14,
and that's on a good day. Imagine when they're short. You know, when we're short, we literally take on a lot of people. Like,
so
it's not even right.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, I don't like how nursing homes have rehab centers attached to them.
But that's their source of income.
I know, but I don't like that.
And actually, a lot of nursing homes are actually getting called out too. Oh my gosh. The reading that I've been doing, this is kind of why I'm like, you know what? Nursing homes, it's over. Like, I'm not a fan at all, you know?
I don't like how, because that setup is literally
they're stealing from Medicare.
Absolutely, they're stealing from
and
Medicare.
So they're being called out for that now.
So Medicaid,
fraud.
But so yeah, I don't like how rehab facilities are adjoined with, you know, it's like a lot of times your loved one ends up in rehab. Next step is the nursing home.
Absolutely.
You know, so I don't like that. All right, that's another ash. And then, yeah, I would say my last ash is the smell. I cannot. Did I say that already?
Yeah, you did.
I really can't.
Well,
breathe.
You said the upkeep of the residence first.
Yeah, I said the upkeep of the residence. So I don't like that. My roses, you know, it's a place to go and meet a lot of just interesting people. You know, like being around older people, old people, like who are just, you know, in their 80s, and they're just so funny, and they have so much like wisdom, and like half the time some of the stuff they say don't make sense, but some of the stuff really be, you know, they be dropping jewels. They stay dropping jewels. Yeah, so
even within dementia, they drop jewels.
Yeah, and I find that like even the ones where I'm like, oh my gosh, they're just I haven't had a negative experience where they just love me. You know, old people love me. So, you know, I like that.
That's true. I don't know what it is. Like, our residents are all obsessed with you.
I know.
Literally.
Like every resident we've ever had. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That would be my rose.
That's good. I like all of that. So I will say, I want to comment on the Medicare, Medicaid thing. Yeah. So like Medicare, so nursing homes are actually, they've been investigated for Medicare fraud, because what they're doing is Medicare is where they get more money, their most money. So if they can get you to stay for 30 days, so they make up stuff to make you stay for 30 days, right? And then I do agree. Oh my gosh, another analogy, the way that you were saying from rehab to the nursing home, it's like a definite. Yeah. If they don't take care of you well in the rehab.
Because if you're sitting in rehab for 30 days, like the amount of time that, you know, that is on your body as an elderly person, if you're just kind of just in there, like your body starts to lose, you know, its agility.
But I think that like without the rehab, they wouldn't be able to afford to stay open.
Oh, the nursing homes. Yeah. I'm not saying that rehab is also very necessary.
That's why it's a numbers thing. That's why there's so many beds of long-term care, because they're just picking up all the Medicaid money, even though it's not a lot of money.
Yeah, it's not a
you know
lot
what
of
I mean? So the thing for me is on top of this, even nursing homes that are being investigated for this fraud, guess who is bailing them out right now?
Corporations.
Our governments. Oh. Our money is bailing them out. They're getting billions of dollars is going into nursing homes. And you know where that money is going to? Not the residents. Not staff. Staff. Administrative. Like, so now nursing homes are being investigated for that too. Like, what are you doing with the COVID money
that you make? And nursing home administrators make a lot of money, but they don't stay. Even with all that money, there's always a rotation, unless you like
director of nursing right now.
Yeah.
Look up, if you want to be literally look up director of nursing jobs and see how many nursing homes are looking for a director of nursing. The person in charge of overseeing the people directly taking care of your loved one is not in the building. They're looking
does not exist.
Nobody is doing there. Either no one is doing that job, or somebody who's not qualified to doing that job is currently doing that job, or being stretched thin.
Yeah.
Okay. So the cons for me, ratio and the staff turnover, because it's hard to keep nurses aides because of how hard the work is.
Yeah.
Like literally after I would feel like, I remember leaving work feeling like every part of my body is sore. Like you don't, once you get in there, there's no sitting down, there's no using, because literally it's like if you're sitting down, you're neglecting somebody. There's 14 of them.
Yeah.
Like you're neglecting
you're there
someone
for 12 hours, so you can't even give it an hour each.
What? And so I would remember feeling,
this is on like a magical, I'm just gonna go to work and just get everyone up and get them down. No, this is like no.
And then you're like dementia is mixed in there as well, so it's like your day is unpredictable,
right? You got people trying to escape, and it's just a mess. And
it's actually it's not really even like safe either, like, because I remember not ever having really much help. So I was a very like, I was a teenager. Like I was 18 when I started working, and I'm here like lifting like 200, 300. Like I've taken care of very like heavy residents by myself, you know? So it's like the work for the staff, it's not right, you know? And I was doing all that for my little $10.50, okay?
Right, but
the good days.
That's what you got to be as a staff member, right? So imagine you as a staff member, you have your own life stuff going on, and now you got to come and take care of 14 people passionately, caringly, compassionately, while they're hitting you and fighting you and cursing you. You know what I mean? So then what treatment are you giving to that? You already don't make enough money.
Right.
You already have a crazy workload, and now the person you're taking care of is like being in there. It's not their fault. They just don't know what's happening, right? So how are the staff treated? Because it's all a domino effect, right? Because if you're not happy at work, you're gonna take that out somewhere,
right? And the thing is like, it's not the staff turnover. It's problematic because these people are not looking at the residents as people. Like these staff that you're just rotating door, they're not looking at the residents as like human beings who need love, who need to be taken care of. I mean, don't get me wrong, because there are some bomb nurses aides, like they are the best, but usually they're the ones that have been at that nursing home for years. They know all of their residents. They know when their resident is off. You know what I mean? Like there's always that nurse's aide up in there, like, you know what I mean? But the others, that rotating window, like imagine like the kind of care, of course, like they're also coming in and not caring and don't really know who that resident is as a person, And then, so,
even just my brain also always want to take stuff on a deeper level, but
I'm on my one con. The other con, taking seniors out of the community, which I mentioned before. And then number 3 was that it can't really be personalized. Like, come on, man. Like, there's no time I remember like my frustration with being at work was I felt so bad that I did not have time to get them ready the way I wanted to, like in the mornings. Like, I'm like, man, like waking up, you should get a back rub. You should get your hair combed nice. You should get, put your makeup on, put some blush on, like feel good about yourself to start the day. And I did not have time to do that because, because I was going chasing diapers. I'm not gonna lie. Chasing depends. Like, I know I have to change. I have to change this one. I have to change this one. I have to change that one. And then in the process of changing, alarms are going off. Yeah. But I'm in charge of this hall. So if the alarm's going off, that means somebody's up and walking. Yep. And we used to have meetings, and they would be like, in the meetings, they'd be like, what is the solution to, our residents being wet for so long or like, not clean for so long? Or what is the solution to our residents falling? What is the solution? What is the solution? You can give any suggestion except for more staff. But that's the solution. That is the solution. More people to take care of these residents. More people.
So So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because on one hall, there could be like 30 residents on one hallway, right?
Depends on how big the nursing homes are. This particular nursing home, I think, had 12, maybe 12 rooms, 13 rooms. Had 13 rooms. And the majority of those rooms are shared.
Exactly. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because if you have 14 rooms times 2,
sometimes that's the thing, like 14 residents having or 12, 13 residents, that's a good day. That's a day that everybody shows up to work, which is not a lot of days. So can you imagine?
Right.
And
no, the point I'm trying to make is like how many seniors period are in a nursing home at one time.
Exactly. So it's like, I mean, that building, I know we had maybe 80 to 90 beds.
80 to 90 beds.
Yeah,
okay.
for one. And that's just a lot of immunocompromised people in one place.
Space. Yeah. In one space that's not like one ongoing space, because it's not like pockets of. Yeah, it's just a continuous.
Yeah. And it's just a lot of people to take care of well.
Yeah. It's a lot of energies trying to commingle.
But it's so crazy because I feel like our government supports this setup.
Our government supported slavery. What? Let's stop talking about we're expecting the government to be this righteous being.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I'm saying like, setups, like different setups should be.
Exactly.
Should be. And
option, should be
it's
an
just,
option.
to me, I was just, it's like, wow. It's like the government is it looks like the majority, the face of our government is a white man handing another white man the corporation money.
Yeah.
That's capital. This is what capitalism is looking like right now.
They want us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, and we coming. Okay, we coming.
Now I think what's happening is people are realizing, okay, the corporations have betrayed. You're betraying your people, the people. You're betraying the people that you're serving, and who knows? I think that when we climb up that ladder, hopefully, when I say we, I just mean like, Black people, people of color, women, you know what I mean? People who don't look like what corporate America looks like right now. Yeah. Okay. When we make our way up that, up the chain of entrepreneurship, I'm just curious to see how do we do it differently?
I'm interested to see, because what I feel is that, if you have the work and you have the drive, the work ethic, and the determination, like, you can climb the ladder, but it's the spirit in which you do it, right? So if we stay in this servitude mode, if we stay in the spirit of serving others, we will only receive. But then if we get into the spirit of serving ourselves, then yes, it will become about the money. And I guarantee you, these people at the top of these corporations are unhappy, which is why they inflict so much hurt and pain to us. You get what I'm saying? The reason you're able to sell children is because there's something inside of you that's broken. You get what I mean? So I think we need to be conscious of not losing why we start, because sometimes when you're making the money, you're like, okay, this is lit, let me try to make more, because you never get to a point where, okay, I've made enough money.
It's, I don't know, somewhere along the line, it's like this greed. At that point, it has to be greed. Or, when we're watching like these movies and stuff like that, like, you can somehow see like how it got away from them. Like maybe they brought on these shareholders, and these shareholders are now saying, if you don't give us our money, XYZ is going to happen. Like, the way they make it seem like corporate America is so civil. Like, I think there's a scary side to it.
Absolutely. I feel like corporate America are the thugs. They're the ones coming like, your family's life is in danger.
Yeah, black tie, because it's just like,
white collar.
because I can't imagine
Blacklist.
My pros. I'm just going to go through them because we've already talked about, my roses. So we've already talked about like mostly everything. But one thing is like, I do know that nursing homes have given a break to caregivers, which I think that they desperately need. And I think that it is that is a pro for them. I think that they've kind of misused that trust in them. and not at fault, because like the people running, it's really the people who are holding on to the money who is at fault for all of this. Because I think that, you know, if directors of nursing could get more staff, they would do it, you know. But anyway, so I think it's great that caregivers can, you know, have a break, and that, because for some caregivers, it's really impossible for them to be able to take care of their loved one. The other one is that some nursing homes are good. There are some nursing homes that are good. You know, for those of you who are listening, I know that there's like the greenhouse project that's happening, and that's happening around like the world, like around, I think of the States. Yeah. I think they have like 300 facilities now or something like that. It's either 30 or 300. Sorry, guys.
What a range.
I think it might be 300 though. So, cause it's around the States. And I know we have a couple here in Ohio.
In Columbus?
In Ohio. Not in Columbus, but in Ohio. Yeah. Okay. So, and it's just a different model. It's not the same model as ours, but it's just another concept that is just more about the individual you're taking care of, and not so much about on like what's the max amount of profit we can make off of this. Like, what can we squeeze out of seniors? Like, really? That's so messed up. Like, come on. Like, karma is bound to come for you.
Like, we're not saying that, you know, the way to take care of them is our way, the memory care home way, because that's our, it's a subset of the senior care industry, right? Alzheimer's and dementia. There are other seniors who have other ailments, who need other different types of care. So we can, like, why not get creative about the way we take care of our seniors? I think I was in a seminar, and was this in Florida? We were watching something about turning a community into like a you know, like the senior living. I would love that. Literally, I would, instead of it just being, it would be like a care community. Yeah, like a Pleasantville or something like that, or somewhere it's like the hair salon, like is caregiver or workers here to take care of the seniors.
Even the grocery store.
It's like you're hiring people to. It's like a stimulated, you know. It's like your job is to come work in this senior town. But you like could hire actors, honestly. Yeah.
Like, perfect. Like, you hire actors.
Yeah, they should still have some kind of training and, you know, taking care of people and CPR and all of that. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's like a beautiful vision. I would love that to be like just an option, you know what I mean? But in the meantime, it's like, why can't we just do the extra effort? If we bring our seniors back into the community, then we can just become more aware. Like, hey, you know, when we have, like, why aren't there, you know, menus for, you know, for those like people with dementia, like, who are so confused that they can't make a decision. Like, you know, it's like we only cater to the people who are young, who are abled, who are like, that's not right. Like, this community includes kids, it includes seniors, and it includes
sick people,
those in between,
criminals,
right?
It includes everybody.
So it's like, let's be a little bit more inclusive, you know?
Love everyone, kumbaya. I mean, I know that's not real life. Some people you gotta, you know, kick them in the throat.
Juny being Juny, you know. Last one, the loving people who work in the care homes. Shout out, I mean, in the nursing homes, and who are taking care of their residents and taking initiative and advocating for their residents. Y'all are the MVP, okay? Yeah. I love them. And that is all for me.
Okay, so we have to rate it now. What are we rating? What are we rating? Nursing homes or the industry
of senior care? Let's do nursing homes. Okay. That's who we've been talking about.
Okay.
I'll give them like a 2. I'm being nice.
Yeah, that is really nice.
I mean, they've been doing it this whole time. You know what I mean? Like, there's work that has been put into the industry. They mean well. I'm sure they started off with great intentions. And once again, the green monster took over another industry, you know?
One of the 7 deadly sins. Yeah,
so I'll give you a 2.
A 2.
For the caregivers. The caregivers really gave that extra star.
You know, I think I would have to second that. I could give them a 2. I was gonna go with 1, but you did make you did make a valuable point. You know, they probably did. I'm sure they started with good intention because we did need a place where they could go and receive care.
Yeah.
You know? So the intention was there. And like you said, like there are good nursing homes. There's good everything. There's good and bad everything. There's good memory care homes like Sapphire House or
SapphireHousing.com.
Yeah, and there are other ones who are in the same memory care home style, offering the same things, but doing it in a much different way that may or may not be good for you or your family. So it's just, you got to find what fits in for you. And some people might have the money and like the home health care options. So whatever works for you. Right. But it is something that you should think about because I know as millennials, we're not really thinking about our parents needing us to take care of them. But as I age and kind of get older, more and more people younger and younger are having to take care of their parents. Right. And it's not about an age thing. It's about just the society that we live in. Like our bodies have just been through so much. So we get to a certain age that we just aren't aging the way we used to as humans. So that's something we need to think about and be prepared because anything can happen anytime. So
yeah. And I know for us in our culture, you know what I mean? Like our grandparents and they took care of us. Yeah. And our parents took care of us and the expectation is for us to take care of them too.
And it's an honor too. You know,
absolutely,
expectation and an honor. So,
and I know that in today's society, it's not really set up to where we would have time. Like, what would we do if we had somebody to take care of 24/7? You know what I mean? Like, what would we do? Like, you know, so it's like we still have to work. We still have to. This society is not set up for us to be as communal as we naturally are as you know, Haitian people. Yeah. And other cultures. I know a lot of cultures are like that where
just people in general. That's as humans, that's our natural reaction is to be in communion and be around each other. That's how we thrive, survive.
So this is just this model for me is just this at least another option. You know what I mean? It may not be the ideal one for most people is to be at home, of course. But, you know, we sometimes at least if there's variety of options, that would be good. So,
yeah. And I think at the very least, it's a good conversation to start having with your parents. Yeah. Absolutely. My mom says all the time to throw her in a nursing home. I just look at her like, why?
Never.
Why? That goes against everything that I do in my everyday life. Against my work, like what?
But you see the fact that it's even like so negative, like people are like, nursing home, you would put your mom in it, like, you know, and it's like, and even I follow a lot of like you know, on Facebook the groups like the what are they called, support groups, okay, and in those support groups people will be like, oh my goodness, like they will be so hard on themselves about putting their mom or their loved one in a nursing home. And it's like the fact that like that's what it has to be, that's what the experience has to be, like why does it have to be like that? It doesn't. Like it's time for something new. It's time for a change. It's time for more options. It's time to call out the industry that's getting billions of dollars from our government. It's time to say, I think with the money you're getting, you can give better care.
That's all we're saying.
And then on top of that, you're like you're participating in fraud, and you're taking that money, Medicare fraud, and you're like taking that money to serve yourself instead of making you're a great facility. Like, but you know, at the same time, I'm mad. This is another reason why I'm mad, and this kind of might be, I'm mad because all this time, like this might be a little revolutionary. You might not be ready, but I'm mad because I feel that white people don't want to give us a chance. It's like, no, but seriously, it's like we've been passed up for somebody who has the look of corporate America.
We've been passed up for white men.
Like this, because we look like this, you pass us up as, you know, not being white.
Yeah, because
I
because what else is
like,
what else?
And then the thing is like the care that we provide, like we have, that's what I was saying, like heart, like of course, everything else you listed before when you were saying you have to have commitment, you have to have the drive, you have to have the ambition, you have to, you know what you're doing. These are people's lives in your hands. We have that. And then most of all, we have the heart. You know what I mean? Like we're in this for the right reasons. And time and time again, we get passed up. You know?
And we get passed up not after seeing, you know, the care and the testimonials, because we have all of it. We have the marketing package. Yeah. We get passed up once you walk into our office or you walk into our house and you're like, oh, this is not what I had. Or once you get to our website and you see it's two black girls.
We've literally had somebody say, oh, so I'm supposed to just trust my dad with you?
Yeah.
But it's so funny because, you know, at the same time,
and I want to make the point, it's not just from, of course we get that from white people, but we've also gotten that from black people too.
Yeah, we get it from both sides. We get it from both sides.
So it's not like,
because we have our own issues as well, where we look at white America, corporate America, to be the right, to know what's right from wrong from us and stuff like that. So. Oh my goodness. And it's like
a lot of problems.
It's
we got
crazy.
A lot of industries to be challenging.
It's interesting because it's crazy because from this area, you know, I've been questioned as far as like, you know, oh, like, are you capable of doing this? You have the capabilities, you know, from this area, from the, I'm an owner, I'm doing my, you know, but when I'm repping OSU or repping a corporation with their uniform on, all of a sudden my expertise is all of a sudden great. Like I'm okay. Like no. Why? Because I have a huge corporation that is probably
that hired you to just come and do a job versus sitting down and learning the rules of the state in which you operate. Like no, you know what I mean?
They have no idea that like me, when I was working in that nursing home, I was literally watching management. I watched what they do, what they did. Like, and I pictured myself as somebody running that particular nursing home. And after my feelings changed about it, you know, I'm looking at it from the perspective, no, I will not be running something like this, especially if I can't run it to the best that I want to because of money, you know? And it's like, this industry has had issues for years and years and years. Why do you still have the same problem? I'm talking about when I was 18. That's almost 10 years ago. Why is that still a problem?
Oof, 10 years ago.
Sorry, guys. I know. Okay. This, like we said, we could talk about this all day, but it is now time for our quotes. Okay.
I know.
And my quote has to do with this topic, and it comes from the all wise grandmother Willow from Pocahontas.
Oh.
Okay. So she says, sometimes the right way is not the easiest one. And I think that with taking care of our seniors, you know, the way that we're taking care of them now is the easy way. But it's the easy way for us. We throw them in a facility where they're being cattled into the cafeteria for dinner. Like, you know, that's crazy. You know, but that's the easiest way to do it.
Cattle, y'all.
No, I'm saying like,
yeah, they are treated.
That's, I mean, that's what's happening in there. Like, I'm just going to be real from my expertise. I don't need to have APA format for me to tell you the experience that I had working there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, you see them all, like you said, you see them all like lining up. And it's like, come on, whatever.
And they're just confused. They just don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's the easiest way for us, but it's not the right way. It's not the right way. And the right way may not be easy, but I think it'll be worth it for not only the seniors now, but the seniors to come, which will be us. And I would really prefer that by the time I'm a senior, that this model
y'all got it
doesn't exist.
Right.
This particular model that is current does not exist.
And I'm going to be a senior peacefully in my island home, dementia or not.
Yeah. So that's my quote of the day.
That was a good quote of the day.
Thank you.
All right. So my quote of the day also has something to do with our topic of the day, and it comes from the great Tifa Snow.
Ooh, nice.
She's really big in the dementia and memory care community. And she says, dementia doesn't rob someone of their dignity. It's our reaction to them that does.
Wow.
You know, being old and being unable to take care of yourself is not something that they did. You know, it's something that's waiting. It's waiting for all of us.
Yeah.
But when we treat them as replaceable or invaluable because of it,
or even disposable.
Disposable is the word I was looking for. When we treat them like they're disposable because of it, that is something that robs them of that dignity and
Absolutely.
that integrity that every human wants to have, you know? Like, imagine going your whole life taking care of yourself and now someone else has to. It's hard on the mind and on the spirit. So
yeah,
that's my quote of the day. So ponder on that as you guys, you know, go about your day. Just think about that a little bit more. And hey, it's season 2. We will see you next Wednesday.
Yes.
We are now on YouTube. And as always, Apple, Google, and Spotify playlists. See y'all next time.
Bye, guys.